right, so we're good?
We're good. We can hear you.
I guess you guys can hear me. Okay, thank you, Stephanie, so much. It's great to be here again. Okay, I'm just fiddling with something at my end. All right, so hi, everyone. Welcome. I'm so happy to be here and talk about trading psychology. I call it the hidden key because it really is not something that most traders focus on a lot. And yet it really is one of the most important things to your trading success. It's kind of just hidden and tucked away in the background and not paid attention to. So we're going to look at it just a little bit today and hopefully give you guys a clearer sense about why it's so important and what you can do with it. There we go. Okay, here's my standard disclaimer. I'm not going to give you financial advice. If I do, don't listen to it. So the hidden secret, what is the real key to trading success? It's such an interesting industry because most of, you go to the expo, most of the teaching is on how to trade, what are the strategies, and there's very little effort put into this part of trading. And I think that's because this isn't the fun part, this is kind of the hard part, and yet it really, really is where the results come from. So why is it that so many traders aren't successful? And you guys have probably heard these numbers, maybe 10%, maybe 5%, it may even be lower than that. The percentage of traders who really are successful in this business, it's very, very small. So you need all the tools on your side that you can get. We're going to take a look at a couple of examples today of how this works, what the connection is between your trading and your psychology. Some real vivid examples so you can really see that. And then a little bit about how you can apply this to your own trading. So a little bit about me and my background, my coaching experience, and my trading experience. I've been coaching it's probably been about 17 years at this point. And up until the last 3 years, I was working more with executives, people in business, entrepreneurs, life coaching situations, and helping people get clear and helping them make changes. And the last 3 years, I've gravitated toward working with traders because I understand the enormous need for help in this area. And I understand the mentality of traders because I am a trader and I've made all the mistakes that you guys have made, probably more times than I'd want to admit. So I really have an understanding of what traders go through. And, I've figured that out, and I'd like to help you guys and other traders with it. And I'll tell you, I'll give you a secret, and if this is all you take away from today, this would be huge. The number one thing that makes a trader successful, in my opinion, from the research that I've done, is the way that you talk to yourself. Are you nice to yourself? Are you beating yourself up? Are you supportive? Are you confident? And most of us really have no idea how we're talking to ourselves. It's kind of an unconscious thing, but it's hugely, hugely important. So that's a tip that you can take and work with. You can start to realize, how am I talking to myself when I'm in the middle of trading? So if you want more information about me or what I do, you can see my website, innerworkscoaching.com. You can visit my blog. You can just Google it. It's Creating Enlightened Traders. And there's some good articles on there about some of the things that I work with my clients on. I haven't written one in quite a while, so it needs to be updated, but it is still a good resource. And at the end of my talk today, I'll give you guys an opportunity to sign up with me for a 30-minute free session just to talk about your situation and what specifically is going on for you. So what does it take to be a successful trader? This is my own kind of input of the three things that I think are kind of minimal and important. Number one, obviously you need a platform. You need to have some way to buy and sell the stocks, the commodities, whatever they are. You could theoretically do this on the phone. You could call up a broker and say, hey, buy me 100 shares of Apple. But if we're actively trading, you're going to want your charts, your computer, and all the things that you guys, the indicators and stuff that you guys are using. So we need a platform. We need to know how to use it. Number two, we need a profitable trading system. We need to have a system, and that's where Stephanie is really helping you guys. We need to know that if we do these certain things, it's going to make money consistently over time. So either a system that someone else has used that works, or a system that you devise and you back test, but you need a system. You don't want to just be jumping in there and buying something because it looks like it's going up. And number three, and this is where people get into trouble, you need a healthy trading mindset. You need to be able to be in control of your trades and not have too much fear or not have too much greed. And, we're going to talk about in a minute some of the crazy things that traders do, but you want to be able to have a calm sense of control over what you're doing. And that's where the mindset part sets in. So again, why are so few traders successful? And it is, in my belief, almost, I'm not going to put a percentage on it, but hugely because of what's happening in their mind, in their psychology, and it's unconscious. And even when I'm working with someone, if I'm coaching someone, I can be months into a coaching relationship with someone and they get this intellectually, but they still don't really get how much what's happening in their head is affecting the results on the trading screen. So we're going to try to give you guys a real good sense of that today. So ask yourself, what's the biggest trading problem or challenge that I have? Go ahead and do that right now. And if you would, type it into the chat. So are you afraid to get in? You overtrade? What's the biggest challenge that you're dealing with? Fear of losing money, uncertainty, fear, becoming distracted. Great. Anyone else? What's the biggest challenge? And I want you guys all to think about this because we're going to be using it. Patience, software. I'm not sure what software means. Does that mean learning how to use the trading platform? Okay, so many. Kathy says, probably fear if I had to pick one. Yeah, I mean, and a lot of us have one large challenge and then we may have 10 other challenges. It's a really, really difficult thing to do psychologically. It's a really easy thing to do to just push the buttons. Taking a break when I should and trading when I should take a break. Okay. Yeah, taking breaks are really important. Patience. Thanks, you guys. So let's look at some of the typical trading challenges, and some of them you guys just mentioned. The fear to pull the trigger and take a trade. Fear of all sorts of things, right? The market can bring up a lot of fear for us, especially depending on our background and where we come from. Chasing the trades. Do you guys ever chase the trade? You can't get in at the level you want to, but you don't want to let it go, and so you follow it up and you watch it. As soon as you get in, it goes the other way. Impatience, gambling, feeling out of control, doubling down. Now, if you have that in your trading plan and you know what you're doing, that's one thing. But if you're just doing it because you don't want to get out of a losing trade, you could be headed for disaster. Number 5, going past your daily loss limit or not having one, you guys should all have in your mind and on a piece of paper somewhere a very clear idea of how much you're willing to lose every trade, every day, every week, and have that be, that's a safety, that's a boundary that you don't want to go past. Number 6, disregarding your trading plan or not even having one is very, very common. Number 7, revenge trading. When you lose $100 and you want to get it back, so you instantly go back into the market. Before you know it, you're down 500. Over trading, using the reverse button. I don't know about the platforms you're on. TradeStation, which I use, has a reverse button, which I've used in the past. And I just don't think that's a good idea. I think you want to get out of one trade and very consciously get into another trade. And number 10 is something that I work with my clients on a lot. It's the concept of valuing, making profit on a trade over valuing really learning to be a consistent trader. And if you think of that saying, give someone a fish and they eat for a day, teach someone to fish and they eat for a lifetime, that's really what we want to work on with trading. We really want to learn how to become successful traders that can bring home the fish, bring home the bacon every day consistently. So we're not going after making money today and tomorrow in the market. We're going after really learning this skill, and that's very, very difficult. We, as traders, we want to go in and make money, and that's something that I'm really reinforcing with people a lot is, if that's what you really want, that's okay, but what I would want for you is to have the focus be on how do I really get to a place where I've mastered this, and then I get to do it every day. So all of those challenges that we were just looking at, the one thing that they have in common is that they all originate in your mind. These are not problems on the charts. These are not software problems. These are not market problems. These are in your head problems, right? These are your psychological challenges that make you do all those crazy things. Does that make sense? You guys get that? Any questions about that? Because this is really like the part I really want you to get. This is in your mind. All those things are in your mind. And yet, if you think about the problem that you mentioned a little bit before, you put it into the chat, when you know that you have a challenge like that, like you overtrade, what do we do to solve it? Well, a lot of us go into the, using willpower. So we say, well, tomorrow I'm going to do that differently, or Monday, or the first of next month, I'm going to do this differently. It's going to be a clean slate. I'm going to start over. I'm going to, use my will, and I'm going to do better at this. And it's kind of like going on a diet, right? Or stopping smoking or something. You do it for a week or 2 weeks or a month, and you lose weight and you're feeling great, and then what happens? Boom, you can't stand it anymore. And you go out and you eat a whole chocolate cake, or you smoke a whole pack of cigarettes. I'm not a smoker, so I don't know how that goes, but you get the picture. And you go and you gain more weight than you lost, right? Willpower is great as long as it stays in check. And as soon as it stops, for whatever reason, everything can explode. And you've heard of people who can make, $10,000 in a week trading, and the next Monday it's gone. It can be gone in one trade. So we cannot trust our willpower to always be there. It may be there sometimes, but when it's not, we can lose everything. So I do not recommend people try to trade with willpower. There's actually ways to get under that and to get to the root of the issues and pull them up so they're gone, so you're not having to fight yourself for the rest of your years as a trader. Okay, that makes sense? So, and the third bullet, we might beat ourselves up, get really mad at ourselves, and somehow think that that's going to control the problem and stop it. So these are ways that we cope. And this may be very unconsciously. So willpower doesn't work, as I just said, and it comes down to, you want to be able to trust yourself as a trader, fully trust yourself. And willpower is something that comes and goes, and it's not a consistent. And from that standpoint, it's not a good way for us to learn how to trust ourselves. So the other thing that we might do to fix our problem in the market is we'll start to change how we interact with the market. See if you guys can relate to any of this. So if it's not working to trade Starbucks, then maybe I'll trade Apple, or maybe I'll start trading Forex or get into the futures. Or if it's not working to trade at 7 in the morning, maybe I'll trade at 10 in the morning. And those things are not bad. In fact, they can be very good. I think it's important to get clear about your personality and which markets you fit best with and which times of day, and really start to learn what works best for you. I think all of that's really important. But changing our whatever we're trading, changing time frames, getting bigger monitors, getting a faster computer, all these different things will not necessarily solve the problems that you guys mentioned earlier. So, the bottom line is with the willpower and coming to a place where we realize we're not really solving the right problem and we're not doing it in the right way. We're kind of unconsciously doing all these things that I'm talking about and not really facing what is the real cause that's going on inside of me, that's going on inside of my head, that's causing these problems. And for most traders, unless your psychology is already pretty clean, you're going to have to get to a point where you kind of figure this out at some point if you want to be successful. For most people, I would say that. So this question is where it starts to get a little bit challenging. And this question is, do I really want to know? Do I want to know what's going on inside my head? It's like if I'm a smoker or an overeater, do I want to know what's causing that and fix it? Or do I want to keep doing this because there's some reward in keeping eating the chocolate cake or keeping eating keeping smoking? And even the way that you trade, there's some reward in it. I know that might sound a little bit weird, but it keeps us from something else. It may keep us from our feelings. It may keep our adrenaline going and the excitement. So do we really want to know what's going on underneath so that we can uproot it and have it be gone and become more calm and peaceful when we're trading? So this is the work right now for you guys. Ask yourself, okay, in your mind, would I be willing to confront my mindset challenges and the problems that I outlined a minute ago and do the work to overcome them if I knew I was going to be able to trade well and consistently? Am I someone who would be willing to look inside my mind and deal with that kind of stuff? Absolutely. I have done. Awesome, Susan. I'm going to take a second and read the chat here. Yes. Good, you guys. That's so great. I mean, when I work with trading clients, a lot of what we do has nothing to do with the market. Absolutely nothing to do with the market. It's what's going on inside of them. It's how they're showing up. Okay, great, you guys. This is a good group of motivated traders. So the real challenge, as I've been saying, it's in your head, and I feel like my slides are out of order. But so what does this mean? What can you do about it? That's where we're going to go next. Let's take a look at Ron. Ron is a client that I worked with. He had been trading for 20 years before we started working together. And he consistently would have a feeling of being trapped when he was in a trade. He took trades, but he would feel trapped. And then he'd want to get out of the trade. And even if that meant getting out for a 5-cent loss, he wanted to get out so he could feel better. And you might wonder, why would someone be trading after 20 years if they're feeling this way all the time? And I certainly did wonder that, but he was. He liked to trade, but he didn't like the feeling of being trapped. So this became so prevalent that we started talking about, what does being trapped mean to you in a sense? So when he was a child, he had 2 physical situations at age 6 months and age 2, where he was also almost suffocated and killed by different people. One was an accident and one probably wasn't. And he had such a post-traumatic stress over those 2 situations and this feeling of being trapped that it literally was stuck in his body, and he was bringing it to trading. And I use this example because it's so vivid and clear. And as soon as I heard this, it was instantly clear to me. Of course, these 2 things are related. It wasn't instantly clear to him, which surprised me, but he said, "Are you sure these 2 things could be related? It doesn't seem like that makes sense if I'm 6 months old, that would be affecting my trading." And that's exactly what happens for most of us. There's some kind of something that sets us up for, to be interfering with our trading and interfering with our psychology when we're an adult. So what happens? So Ron and I talked about this. I can't remember the specifics. I'm sure I gave him some homework around it. And as he started to become aware of this, he was able to separate and clear that out, and it stopped having an effect on his trading. And then he's able to release it. He's able to follow his plans, and he's free. He's free of his story. He's free of his past and his post-traumatic stress. Post-traumatic stress actually lodges in the body if it doesn't get healed, and then it starts to come out when we get into stressful situations. And trading is a stressful situation. So after 20 years of struggling with this, he's able to be in a trade and not feel trapped anymore. And then he's on his way and to becoming a successful, consistently successful trader. So this isn't the only reason. This is an example. This is a mindset example of what is going on with us while we're trading. Old traumas that are controlling our actions. We have no idea, most of us, that this is even happening. It's happening unconsciously. That's the hardest part about it. And this is not, from my experience talking with traders, this is not something that's actually easy to grasp. It takes a while. And even for me as a coach, it took a good year of working with traders before I really started to get how strong the links are here and how important this is. So just to give you even a little bit more detail, what does this mean? So these unconscious, psychological mindset things that we're trading with, it can be past traumas, belief systems like, money doesn't grow on trees. If you grow up with that and you think, well, money doesn't grow on trees, you have to work really hard to make money, and then you do a trade and you make $100 in 5 minutes, your unconscious is going to say, no, you can't do that. That money doesn't grow on trees. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't work. And you'll start to sabotage yourself so that your actions align with the belief money doesn't grow on trees, right? It's crazy how this stuff works. So there may be hidden memories of something that are affecting the trading, feelings, a perspective, a belief that you have, and other kinds of blocks. And as I said, we're usually not aware of these things. So that's the first step in healing any of this stuff, is to start to become aware of it. and I had a little joke with a friend. It's TUI, trading under the influence. It's like, you wouldn't get in your car and drive under the influence of alcohol. Well, we're all trading under the influence of past traumas that we don't even know that we're doing. So Marie is another example, someone that I was working with, and her thing was she didn't want to lose out on a trade, so she was always chasing trades. She did not like the feeling of the trade going off without her and making money. It was very strong. So again, we looked at that, that whole concept in her life, and that's what her whole life was kind of centered around, was she's losing out on money, on money. She didn't have a relationship she wanted. She didn't have any family. And she would compare herself with everyone else and come up short. And she was taking that blueprint for her life and she was putting it onto the market. So she had been trading for over 10 years and never had any inclination that this was going on for her. So she was an interesting situation. As soon as she gained that awareness, and she and I talked about it, the next week she came back for our coaching session and it was gone. She had cleared it. And that's actually very unusual for something to be gone so quickly, but it is possible. It's just, again, it's bringing the awareness of what you're doing to the forefront so you can do something with it. So what about you? So for homework, I'm going to invite you guys to think about, list out all the crazy behaviors that you're doing in the market that you want to stop, but you haven't been able to, or, your version of that. And think about, is there a pattern here? Is there something that could be connected to something in my past, so that you start to realize this connection and open it up to, thinking about it. And a lot of times the way people get answers to these is, I'll be talking to them and a thought will just pop into their head. And when that happens, trust it. It's usually your intuition giving you an answer. Journaling is a great way to get at these questions and pull up this information for yourself. If you haven't ever journaled, don't be afraid to start. And if you do, use a paper and a good old pen rather than your computer, because it gives you more direct access to your subconscious and will bring out more information. And if you really want to get in there, write the question in your dominant hand and write the answer in your non-dominant hand. And that it's kind of hard to do because you're not used to writing with that hand, but it gets further into the subconscious for answers. So what is the solution to all of what we're talking about? Well, we've just talked about some things that you can do on your own. There's meditation and yoga and all sorts of ways to calm yourself down and get more aware of what's going on. I think ideally the most powerful, fast way is to work with a coach, work with someone like me or a therapist or another helping professional who can help you see quickly where are your blind spots that you're not able to see. That's one of the most valuable things, to have someone on the outside helping you with. The other thing that, someone can help you with is encouragement and accountability. And, it's like being a professional golfer or a baseball player and having a coach on the sidelines and really helping you with every move that you're taking. And a lot of what I do personally as a coach with traders is focused on the mindset part. And then some of it is also focused on getting really clear about, what you want as a trader, who you want to be, how you want to show up, what are your goals, how much money do you want to make, how do you want to feel when you're trading? Do you want to be kind of pushing down anxiety, or do you want to get to a place where you really are at peace? There's a lot that you can look at as far as, who do I really want to be? Is this a trading business for me, or am I just going in there and trying to get some money out of the market every day? So there's lots of ways that working with an outside person, just like Stephanie is helping you with the technical learning how to trade, you can get support with all this other stuff that we're talking about today. So coaching specifically can help you start to make money if you're not making it already, or help you get to the next level, help you with the fears and the other emotions. And as I just talked about, help you really set up a trading business and get clear about what you really want from your trading. And a lot of people haven't thought about that. And I invite you to sit down and write about that. What am I really doing here? You know, if you're going to drive from New York to California and you want to go somewhere, you need to know exactly where you're going so you know what map to follow. It's the same thing here. So also gaining confidence, discipline, belief in oneself, learning to trust yourself, all these great things are part of what coaching works with you on. So we've come to the end. Thank you guys so much for your time and your attention. I hope that this has been helpful. And what I'd like to offer you, if you want to give me a call or send me an email, is a private session where we focus just on you and what's going on with your trading situation. This is free. If you have any interest in that, please call me or email me and we'll set that up. If you have any questions about what I covered today, if something doesn't make sense, if there's something that you're not sure is a mindset issue inside of yourself that you want to talk with me about, please feel free to call. Don't hesitate at all. I'm very open and friendly, and I'm happy to talk to you and see if I can help you in any way with the trading challenges. Here's some more ways to be in touch and some other information. I have a LinkedIn group on called Trader Mindset if you're interested in joining that and participating in that. I already told you about my my blog, and I would highly suggest, if you guys are in an area that has a meetup group for traders, that you join the group and you go out and you meet with other traders locally. I found that to be really, really helpful. That's actually, I think, how Stephanie and I met. She spoke to my meetup group, I think in LA, years ago. Yes. Yay. Which was awesome. And Christine Baker, yeah, she's spoken there as well. And if there isn't a meetup group, start one. I've started 3 different groups in 3 different locations that I've lived. And, you know, you meet so many wonderful people, and traders are just dying to talk to each other because we're all at home by ourselves, right? So it's a really good way to interact with other traders. So that's it for me. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Stephanie. As ever, I really appreciate being able to be here and talk about this. I'm passionate about it. And I look forward to hearing from you guys. Let me know if I can support you in any way. Thanks, Stephanie.